Okay, let's take a start. It's academic reading, book number 16, test number 2. Right? One of the students once commented, he said test number 2 is the toughest test, so you should solve it. So now we are going to solve a toughest test. Right? Come on, you never know. Maybe it's going to be easiest for you. One thing is poison for one person, and for the other person it is something good. So don't worry. Right? It depends. The White Horse of Uffington. White Horse, you know, Uffington can be the name of a place. Simple. White Horse of Uffington, Asp. Yeah? Asp is Safid. Yeah, White Horse of Uffington. So let's see. They are talking about White Horse of Uffington. Now I want you all to imagine a white horse. Right? Just imagine a white horse and that's it. Okay? Because more you imagine, you will be able to pay more attention and to penetrate into the passage. After reading the title of the passage, you don't need to read anything from the passage, directly come to the questions. And the questions are, and if possible, you guys can do one thing, a 5-second survey of all the reading test. Section 1, topic, type of questions. Section 2, topic, type of questions. Don't read, only see. Section 3, topic and type of questions so that you are familiar. Right? When the ladies, they work in the kitchen, if you tell them you have to cook 3 dishes, all right, fine. Okay, so they can make all 3 dishes in the same time. Okay, so in the same way, if you read the titles and the questions, you know what is going to come ahead. It's not that when you reach section 3, you say, oh my God, I have this and that. So initially, within 5 seconds, you can check this thing, main topic and questions, topic and questions. Got it? And a reading test, which is considered to be the toughest one, will be the test where there are more questions which are not in order, where questions and answers are not in order. Okay, now we have true, false, not given. In true, false, not given, questions and answers are in order. And remember, in part 1, academic reading, part 1, they always give you 2 types of questions. Number 1, true, false, not given. Number 2, sentence completion. Most of the time, they will give you true, false, not given and sentence completion. And then you move on to part 2, then they have the other type. So what do we have here? Same thing. Okay? So whenever you do the test, you should observe that usually in part 1, they give this type of questions. In part 2, they give that. In part 3, they give that. Okay. In true, false, not given type of questions, you have to read the question and divide it into 3 parts. And within the question statement, there is a word or there is a phrase which is going to decide whether the answer is true, false, or not given. For example, Asad Yaqub is wearing blue shirt, for example. Now, Asad Yaqub is wearing blue shirt. If Asad Yaqub is wearing blue shirt, it is mentioned in the passage, answer is true. If Asad Yaqub is wearing white shirt, in the passage they say blue, false. And if they did not tell the color of the shirt, they say Asad Yaqub is wearing a nice shirt, but color is not mentioned, so answer is not given. Very, very simple. Okay, so you need to just check it like this. Question number 1, most geoglyphs. Now, whenever you come across a new word, number 1, don't feel panicked. Geoglyph? I don't know this word. What is it? Okay, sometimes contextual use of the word will clarify the meaning. And sometimes they define the words as well. Now, geoglyph, they will tell us what a geoglyph is. Most geoglyphs in England are located in a particular area of the country. Country means village. Country means, country has 2 meanings. One country is, my country is Pakistan. Second country is, I live in the countryside. Village, rural areas, okay? So they say most geoglyphs. Now, whatever this geoglyph is, most of them in England are located in countryside. Now, if they are located in countryside, answer is true. If they are located in the city areas, right, then it is false. And if they don't tell us, I mean, they will tell us the location of geoglyphs, but they don't tell us most of them, whether they are in cities or they are in countryside, then the answer is Not given. So this is how you have to read every question in true, false, not given. Now, what is, and one more thing. From the question, you have to find the clue word. What is the clue word here? England, geoglyphs, and most cannot be the clue word. A clue word is a word which you're going to scan. Now, let's look for England and geoglyphs and country. Okay, let's take a start. Can you see country, England? Found it? Yes. Now, all of you, please follow me. Okay, listen, don't try to do it independently. Now, this is dependent learning. So, you are depending on me. The way I say read this, read that, you have to follow me. Okay, if you do independently now, this class will be a waste of time for you. This class will only be helpful when you are going to follow me. Everyone, please come to second line. There are 56. Found it? Okay. All right, I'm reading it from the beginning so that you understand what is geoglyph. I'm reading first line. The cutting of huge figures or geoglyphs. Cutting of huge figure is called geoglyphs into the earth of English hillside. Okay, now we understand. Have you seen sometimes on the hill, they have written the name of someone or they have made some pictures and all that? That is called geoglyph. Now we understand, right? So they say the cutting of huge figures or geoglyphs into the earth of English hillside has taken place for more than 3,000 years. Let's go on. There are 56 hill figures scattered around England, with the vast majority on the chalk downlands of the country's southern counties. So they are in countries' southern counties. Now what are counties? That is countryside, right? So what do they say? They say vast majority on the chalk, okay, and then they say they are in the country's southern counties. So county is basically, I mean, in England, they have these counties, so which are like the small areas, and they resemble like the villages and all that. Now let's go back. Most geoglyphs in England are located in a particular area. Now, what is the word for particular area? Southern counties. So, southern counties, particular area of, okay, now listen. I think over here, the word country refers to country. Like England. Okay, so most geoglyphs in England are located in the particular area of the country. So, area of the country. Now, I'm sorry, I said country means village. It doesn't mean village. It means country. So, they say most geoglyphs in England are located in a particular area. What is particular area? Countries, southern counties. And what is most geoglyphs? Vast majority. Okay? So, vast majority and they are there. So, the answer is true. Absolutely. You can do one more thing. Please underline the sentence in the passage where there is the answer and write there 1. Okay, so that when you go back home, you can practice easily. You can just see this is the question, this is the answer, this part of the passage contains the answer, so you should do that. Okay, question number 2. There are more geoglyphs in the shape of a horse than any other creature. Now, this true, false, not given is related to comparison. They say horses are very common in geoglyphs, so there are more shapes of horses than any other animal. Now, please come back. We look for the word horse. Can you find it? Yes. Okay, I'm reading third line, last words. The figures include giants, horses, crosses, and regimental badges. Did they mention anything? They say, although the majority of these geoglyphs date within the last 300 years. Did they mention anything that the most geoglyphs are the geoglyphs of a horse or any other animal? No, they just said they are giants, horses, crosses, and all that. So what is the question? There are more geoglyphs in the shape of a horse than any other creature. Answer is not given. Because comparison is not given. Whenever in true, false, not given, they give you a comparative sentence, you have to check the comparison. If comparison is given in the same way, it's true. If comparison is opposite, I mean, in the passage, they have written something opposite than what they have written in the question, then it is false. But now over here, they did not say a single word like there are more geoglyphs in the shape of horses. They only said there are geoglyphs of giants, horses, crosses, and regimental medals, but they did not tell us anything. This comparison is not given, therefore answer is not given. You have to be alert and active, okay? I cannot simplify it more than this, right? Yeah. Question number 3. Recent dating of the Uffington White Horse. Recent dating means the current dating. Dating means when it was made. The date when something was made, that is also dating. That is also dating what you are thinking and smiling. All right, so recent dating of Uffington White Horse indicates that people were mistaken about its age. Listen, people used to think it was 500 years old, but actually it was 700 years old. So people were mistaken, something like this. Okay, so let's go back. Second paragraph, and the word date is written in the second line. The white horse has, found it? Yes. Okay. The white horse has recently been redated. When they use the word redated, what does that mean? If they say, well, this building is 1,000 years old. Redated means, no, it is 1,500 years old, right? So, the white horse has recently been redated and shown to be even older than its previously assigned ancient pre-Roman Iron Age date. So it's older than the date. It means people were mistaken. And the answer is true, absolutely. Recent dating of Uffington White Horse indicates that people were mistaken. Now, why were people mistaken? Because they used to think about a different date. But actually, it was a different date, so people were mistaken. Hence, the answer is true. All good? You see, it started, usually reading doesn't start with this much complication. But sometimes if you are not lucky, then there can be difficult questions from part 1. Question number 4. Historians have come to an agreement. Now, these points are very important. If historians have come to an agreement, it can be true. If they do not agree, it can be false. And if they don't mention anything about agreement or disagreement, then not given. So they say historians have come to an agreement about the origins of the Long Man of Wilmington. Long Man of Wilmington is your clue word. You will look for Long Man of Wilmington, and there you see historians have come to an agreement. So please, let's go back. Same paragraph. Fourth line, last word. While many historians are convinced. Now listen, when they say many historians are convinced, it means all historians are not convinced. They say many historians are convinced the figure is prehistoric. Others believe. What do they mean by others? Remaining historians. Others believe that it was the work of an artistic monk from a nearby priority. Now what is the question? Historians have come to an agreement. Have they come to an agreement? No. Many historians think they have one theory. Others have another theory. It means they don't agree. That is why answer is false. Do you guys really understand? Oh, thank God. Otherwise, some are looking at my face and some are looking here and then some are arguing. They अपना गुस्सा मुझ पे निकालते, reading का गुस्सा. सर ये देखे ना, ये चीज़ें तो ऐसे नहीं पल्ले पड़ती. There was a student of mine many years ago when I started my teaching career. She said, sir, these things need time to understand. I can't do it now. I can't do it like this, okay? So at least I need a couple of years to understand such type of concepts and all that. So again, I tell you, if one of you is going to stand up now and say, this is so much confusing, it's beyond my capacity, many of the students will be negative about it. So that is why I try to snub such students, such comments, and I change their, ideologies from negative to positive, okay? The way you think is very, very important. Don't worry, these things will take time to develop, but mashallah, you are young and active and you can do it all, okay? All right, let's go on. Question number 5. Geoglyphs were created by people Now listen carefully, focus each word and visualize each word. Geoglyphs were created by, now you understand geoglyphs like paintings on the mountains, on the hills, okay? Geoglyphs were created by people placing white chalk on the hillside. Look here, look here. Geoglyphs were created by placing white chalk. Now if people placed means put white chalk on the hills and they created, that answer is yes. If white chalk was already there, they removed the grass from there and made the white chalk visible. It was already there. Then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us anything about the white chalk, whether people put it or they just cleaned the branches of the trees and all that, then it will be not given. So what's the clue word here? Chalk, white chalk. Let's go back. Third line. The method of cutting these huge figures. Found it? Good, let's read it. The method of cutting these huge figures was simply to remove the overlying grass to reveal the gleaming white chalk below. White chalk was already there below, and what their job was, remove the overlying grass. Now what is the question? Geoglyphs were created by people placing white chalk. No, white chalk was already there. People removed the grass from there. So what will be the answer? True. Excellent. That was hello testing mic check, okay? You know, one of you just written true and then he would be very happy. I am right, the whole class is wrong, okay? All right, that was just a test. Okay, question number 6. Many geoglyphs in England are no longer visible. Look here, look here, look here. Don't find the answer. We'll do it gradually, easily. Okay, otherwise when you are confused, then I cannot take you out of that. They say many geoglyphs in England are no longer visible. Majority of them are invisible. I mean, the grass grew on them and then they vanished, most of them. If many are invisible, then this answer is true. If majority of them, they are still visible and people take care of them, then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us whether majority are visible or invisible, answer is not given. So please come to the same paragraph, 4th line. 3rd paragraph, 4th line. And you see answers are coming systematically. One reason that the vast majority of hill figures have disappeared. Vast majority have disappeared, and then they are telling us the reason is that, don't go into the reason, they are just telling us one reason that the vast majority of hill figures have disappeared. What does that mean? This means vast majority of epiglyphs have disappeared. So what's the question? Many geoglyphs in England are no longer visible. For no longer visible, they use the word disappeared. And then they're telling us the reasons. We don't need to read too much. Remember one thing, for academic IELTS reading, you have to do smart reading. Now, what is smart reading? I only read until here. They said, one reason that the vast majority of hill figures have disappeared. I understood. They have disappeared. And an ordinary student will read all the reasons. Reason number 1, acha. Reason number 2, okay. Reason number 3, and then he will come back to the question, go back to the passage, come back to the question, and you'll be double confused. You found the answer, and you should write it. So question number 6, answer is not given. Yeah, checking your reaction. Okay, absolutely true. Question number 7, shape of some geoglyphs have been altered over time. They changed the shape. Altered means, yeah, and over time means 5 years ago it was different and then people changed the shape. So the shape of some geoglyphs altered over time. Let's go back. Same paragraph. Over hundreds of years. Found it? Everyone? Over hundreds of years. Please take a look at your neighbors also. Make sure everyone is at the right place. Furthermore, over hundreds of years. Found it? Okay, now please follow. Furthermore, over hundreds of years, the outlines would sometimes change. Outlines of what? Outlines of geoglyphs. Outlines sometimes change due to people not always cutting in exactly the same place. So outlines change. And when outline will change, the shape will change automatically. So the shape of some geoglyphs has changed or has been altered over time. The answer is true, absolutely. Clear? All right, let's go on. Question number 8. The fame of Uffington White Horse is due to its size. Look here, look here, look here. if the fame of Uffington White Horse is because of size, it's very big. Answer is true. If the fame is for some other reason, and they tell us the reason, not size but some other reason, then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us the reason, the fame is for size or creativity or any other thing, then the answer is not given. So let's go back. Last line, third last line. The fact that, found it? The fact that any ancient hill figures survive at all in England today is the testament to the strength and continuity of local customs and beliefs, which in one case at least must stretch back over millennia. Did they mention anything about the size? No. About the fame, that fame is because of the size or anything else? Not given, absolutely. This answer is not given. Yes, please come to next page. Which line? First paragraph. Okay, so what is mentioned? The Uffington White Horse is a unique stylized representation of a horse consisting of a long, sleek back, thin disjoint legs, a steaming tail, and bird-like beaked head. Did they mention anything about the size? No, it's not given. Yeah, it's only the style. Size is not mentioned at all. The word size, if they say small, big, and all that, that is not mentioned, okay? Thank you. Okay, guys, now we go on. Questions 9 to 13. Again, it's Cambridge IELTS book number 16, test number 2. Questions 9 to 13. And the questions are, complete the notes below. We call it notes completion. In notes completion, do we have questions and answers in order? Yes, they are. In notes completion, true, false, not given, they are going to be in order. So, choose one word only from the passage for each answer. How many words? You have to be extra careful when you do one word only from IELTS reading. You have to copy paste the word. As the word is written, just copy and paste it here, right? Without any alteration or change. Uffington White Horse. Now listen, the first thing is we are going to find a clue to first answer. Once you find first answer, you got to read on and on and on. Now please follow me. Uffington White Horse. The location of Uffington White Horse. Can you see distance of 2.5 kilometer? Just scan 2.5 kilometer. Found it? Okay. Exactly. Now it means answers are going to start coming from there and then we'll move on. Right? So just encircle 2.5 kilometers. Okay, now listen. Near an ancient road, underline ancient road. For that, they can use the word old pathway, old road, known as the. Now listen here. Whenever they use the word known as the, it means the name of the road. They have an old road, ancient road. Whatever the name of the road is, that will be the answer. And if the name is, names are usually proper nouns. So that is going to start with a capital letter as well. Let's go back. Oh yes, you can see that's something capital. First paragraph, second page, and third line. The horse is situated. Found it? Yes. Please follow me from here. The horse is situated 2.5 km from Uffington village on a steep slope close to late Bronze Age hill fort of Uffington Castle, and below the ridgeway a long distance Neolithic track. Now what is ridgeway? Ridgeway is a long distance Neolithic track. Neolithic means ancient and track means way. So what is the name of that way? Ridgeway. And you can see R is capital. Below the ridgeway, a long distance Neolithic track. So ridgeway, and then there is comma. It means they are describing ridgeway. Ridgeway is a long distance Neolithic track. Come to the question. Near an ancient road. What is the word for ancient road? Neolithic track. For road, they have used the word track. Okay, so what is the name of that? Known as ridgeway. way. And you will write ridgeway as one word. Copy it exactly from the passage. Now, please underline all that. Write the question number there. When you go back home, you can practice. All clear? Okay, let's go on to the next question. After that, you can see dating the Uffington White Horse. Can you see 1070s in question number 10? Scan it. Scan it, 1070s. Scanned? Exactly. So like this, dates, names of places, names of people, they are very good clue words because they stand apart in the passage. You can easily find them, right? So now let's read the question. First reference to White Horse Hill appears in dash from 1070s. Now please listen. Understand that without understanding the question, you will end up with wrong answer. And you will be very happy with that. Because you never know it's wrong. Exactly. Listen now, what's the question? First reference. Reference means mention. I mean, where did they mention the White Horse? Okay, the White Horse Hill. In which document? Maybe there can be a book. In the book, or there can be a novel. In the novel they mentioned, reference means the mention. So where did they mention about the White Horse the date is 1070s. Now please come back. I'm reading it from the beginning. The earliest evidence, found it? Third paragraph, second page, first line. The earliest evidence of a horse at Uffington is from 1070 CE when White Horse Hill is mentioned in documents. Now for mentioned, they use the word reference. So reference is given in documents. Now documents is plural over here. So you are going to copy paste it as it is. Clear? Reference means mention. Question number 10, answer is documents. And by the way, this preposition in is also handy because they mentioned in documents, and in the passage also they said mentioned in documents. Okay, let's go on. Next, can you see there is one bullet point without a question. So it means some part of the passage you have to escape. Or you got to skip. Question number 11. Can you see late Bronze Age, early Iron Age? Now listen, look here. I would advise you that when you come to the question first time, don't read the question. Only scan the question and find a clue word. Go back to the passage, locate that clue word in the passage, underline that, then come and read the question. Let me tell you why not. Because when you read the question, and then you scan. While scanning, you will forget the question. The question will skip out of your mind. So that is why it's a good idea first to look for late Bronze Age, early Iron Age. Please find it. It's fourth paragraph and there we find it. Now we read the question. Please come back. Question number 11. According to analysis of the surrounding, look here. They analyzed something. Analysis of something. They analyzed something which was in the adjacent area. According to the analysis of the surrounding dash, the horse is late Bronze Age, early Iron Age. So from the analysis of something, it can be chalk. They analyzed the chalk and then they came to know that the horse is from late Bronze Age or early Iron Age. So they analyzed something. And for analysis, they can use any other word. Please come back. I'm reading it. However, found it? However, third last paragraph. However, in 1995, optically stimulated luminescence testing was carried out by the Oxford Archaeological Unit on soil. Right? Now that analysis, for analysis, they use the word testing. And for carried out, that means they did the analysis. So analysis was done on soil from two of the lower layers. Now what is two of the lower layers? That is surrounding. Two of the lower layers means surrounding. So they analyzed soil. Answer is soil. You know what soil is? Yeah, matti. Exactly. Okay, let's go on. Next, you can see there are 3 bullet points without any question. Got it? So it means you will skip some part of the passage. Please come to question number 12. Before I read question number 12, I have to read the heading. The heading of this part. Possible reasons, found it? Possible reasons for creation of the Uffington white horse. Why did they create white horse? Possible reasons for creation of Uffington white horse. Okay, question number 12. Was a representation of goddess Epona. Now please go and search goddess Epona. Goddess Epona. Very good. Now where you found it, just encircle the word Epona and come back and read the question. Now we see, was representation of goddess Epona associated with protection of horses and... Now goddess Epona was associated with the protection of horses and something else. Have you found the word Epona? Okay, now listen, wherever you find the word, make it a habit to read that line from the last full stop. Don't read after the word because you will not understand. So I'm going to read it from 4th line. Some researchers see. Found it? Okay. Some researchers, please make sure your neighbors are on the right part of the passage. Some researchers see the horse as representing the Celtic horse, bronze or iron age ritual. Okay, now from here. Some researchers see the horse is as representing, sorry, I'm reading that again. Celtic horse goddess Epona, who was worshipped as a protector of horses, mentioned already, and for her associations with fertility. One is protection of horses, second is fertility. What's the question? Associated with protection of horses and fertility. And be careful with the spelling. Okay, yes, you should write the correct spelling. Okay. Let's go on. Question number 13. Was a representation of a Welsh goddess called, name of Welsh goddess. Clue word is Welsh. Welsh goddess. Go back, Welsh goddess. Second last paragraph. Can you see Welsh? Okay, I'm reading it from third last line. Second last paragraph, third last line. It is possible. Last 4 words. Found it? Okay, it is possible that the carving represents a goddess in native mythology, such as Rhiannon, described in Welsh mythology. Now, Rhiannon, described in Welsh mythology as a beautiful woman dressed in gold and riding a white horse. So, they mentioned that goddess in native mythology, such as. Now, goddess in native mythology, such as means Rhiannon is a goddess. And then they mentioned described in later Welsh mythology. So she's a goddess in Welsh mythology. So what will be the answer? Rhiannon. And with the correct spelling, R-H-I-A-N-N-O-N. If you slightly temper the spelling, your right answer will be wrong. All right, guys. Question number 14. We have one passage left. Question type is? Multiple choice. And questions and answers are? In order. Let's read the question. Question number 14. By the way, questions 14 to 16, they are in order. We are doing Cambridge IELTS book number 16, test number 2. Questions 14 to 16, they are in order. Questions 17 to 20, they are also in order. And 21 to 26, again they are in order. देखना नहर पे ना चला जाए और कल अखबार में आ जाए एग्जैक्टली मैं नहीं आइल्स करना okay, all right, yeah, that's why people look for number 2 of IELTS. You know, it's very simple now to take IELTS test and to get your desired band. Very, very easy. You take any IELTS certificate, you Photoshop it, write your desired band, 9 or even 9.5 you can write. Okay, and then that's it. Only one problem with that certificate. It will not be acceptable anywhere, okay? All right, question number 14. What point does the writer make about microbes in the first paragraph? Microbes, first paragraph, and writer makes a point about it. Let's go back. I'm reading it from the beginning. Microbes, most of them bacteria. So we understand now, microbes are Bacteria. Microbes, most of them bacteria, have populated this planet since long before animal life developed, and they will outlive us. It means microbes lived before us and they will live after us. Let's go back. Option A. They adapt quickly to their environment. No. Option B, risk they pose has been exaggerated. No. C, they are more plentiful in animal life than plant life. No. They will continue to exist for longer than the human race. Continue to exist. What is the word for that? Yeah, and they will outlive us. Us means human. If you are human, then us means human. Otherwise, it depends, okay? Zebras or whatever, it depends. So for question number 14, correct answer is D. Let's go on. Question number 15. In the second paragraph, how good they are telling us. They should say in the second paragraph, third line. Yeah. Exactly. There should be something like this. In the second paragraph, the writer is impressed by the fact that, now listen, writer is impressed. There will be some facts, and writer will not be impressed. But there will be a fact, and writer will be impressed by that fact. And for that impressive factor, they might exaggerate with number. Gigantic, huge, unbelievable, like that. So let's go to second paragraph. Third line, what is amazing? Got it? Now what is amazing means writer is impressed. Now let's read it. What is amazing is that while the number of human cells in the average person is about 30 trillion, the number of microbial ones is higher, about 39 trillion. So it means microbes are more than the number of cells in human, and this is amazing. Let's come back. Option A, each species tends to have vastly different microbes. No. Option B, some parts of the body contain relatively few microbes. No. Option C, average individual has more microbial cells than human ones. And ones means human cells. Okay, now it's not the cell, remote ka cell khatam ho gaya. It's not that cell, it's a cell in human body. So the correct answer is C. And when you find the correct answer and you are sure about it, then you don't need to read the next point. Question number 16. What is the writer doing in the fifth paragraph? Dancing. Fifth paragraph. What is writer doing? Means some action of the writer. Which paragraph? Fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see. For most of humanity, now you need skim reading. For most of humanity, we had no idea that microbes existed. The first man to see, now what is he doing? He is telling us about how we started searching or giving us the background, how we came to know about microbes. Let's read it. He says, the first man to see these extraordinarily potent creatures was Dutch lens maker called Anthony Van and all that. What is he doing? He is telling us the person who discovered microbes for the first time. Please come back. Option A. Explaining how a discovery was made. Lens maker, and he did that. Option B, comparing scientists' theories about microbes. No. Describing confusion among scientists. No. Giving details of how microbes cause disease. No. It's option A. Yeah, I can see the faces you are making, looking at me. और कुछ लोग मुझे गुस्से से देख रहे हो भाई IELTS आप लोगों ने करना है. Yeah, it's not that गुस्सा मुझ पे नहीं का. Reading difficult है तो मुझे ऐसे देख रहे हैं. Relax, calm down. All right. All right. So let's go on. 17 to 20 we do. All right. We should be more tolerant to microbes or tolerant of microbes. So, Young's book. Now, the clue word is Young. Please look for Young. Second page, first word. Once you find the location, you will say, ha, I just found it there. Right? Yeah. I have a Pashtun friend. Whenever he understands something, he says, ha. So you can say, ha. Do they say that, Pashtun people? All right. What does it mean? Acha, ha. Whenever I tell him something he likes, he say, ha. All right, exactly. So, let's see. Young. Now, please, let's read the question. We found the location. Let's read the question. Young's book argues that we should be more tolerant of microbes, okay? Many have a beneficial effect. What do they mean by many? Microbes. You should know this thing. Otherwise, you will not understand, okay? Many have a beneficial effect and only a relatively small number. Small number means small number of microbes. You should be clear about it. Small number of microbes leads to dash. Leads to something. Small number. Let's go back. Please follow me. Young's book. Found it? Let's read it. Young's book is in many ways a plea for microbial tolerance, pointing out that while fewer than 100 species of bacteria bring diseases, many thousands more play a vital role in maintaining our health. So what do? They bring diseases. Now find a word for diseases. Illness. So the answer is option G. Okay, for 17, answer is G. 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 Yeah, G. G nu G honda. Okay. Question number 18. Let's go on. And although it is misleading to think of microbes as friendly, underline the word friendly, it's in inverted commas, we should also stop thinking of them. Them means microbes as the enemy. In fact, we should accept that our relationship with microbes is one based on, yeah, let's go back. Our relationship is based on, same paragraph, second last line. Instead, found it? Second last line. Instead, we should realize we have a symbiotic relationship that can be mutually beneficial or mutually destructive. Follow the word mutual. Well done. Mutual means partnership. For 18, answer is B. Okay. Question number 19. And you see, this is a different summary. When the summary is different, location can be different. New research shows that. Can you see this new research somewhere? Second last paragraph, the most recent. Okay, most recent can be new as well. All right, let's read the question. New research shows that microbes have numerous benefits for humans, okay? Amongst other things, they aid digestion, remove poisons, produce vitamins, and may even help reduce obesity. Achha. Yeah, they can help me with my weight loss as well. However, there is a growing problem. Our poor dash, our overuse of antibiotics. Now, answer will come with antibiotics. Poor dash, our poor dash. Please come back. Our poor. Please come to third last paragraph. Can you see the word antibiotics? Third last line. Third last paragraph, third last line, word antibiotics. And our unhealthy, low-fiber diet. Find a word for unhealthy, low-fiber diets. Unhealthy, low-fiber diets. For that, the word is nutrition. Unhealthy, low-fiber diet that is related to nutrition. Answer is H. Yeah, when you go back home, you fight with it. Okay, just find it. Clear? Unhealthy, low-fat, low-fiber diet is our nutrition, our poor nutrition. When we take unhealthy diet, when we take low-fiber diet, it is our poor nutrition. So the answer is H. Never write the word, only write H. You know, sometimes you write H, but still you're not satisfied. You want to write more. If you write more, your answer will be wrong. Question number 20. Our overuse of antibiotics and our excessive focus on dash. Excessive focus on something. Come back. Same paragraph. For excessive, they use the word obsession. Our obsession. Obsession and excessive focus, they are same words. Our obsession with hygiene. And by the way, this answer came before 19. So this is also possible. Okay, line is same, sentence is same. Our obsession with hygiene. Now let's see, what is the word for hygiene? Cleanliness, absolutely. So the answer for question number 20 is E. Okay, question number 21. It is possible that using antibacterial products in the home fails, in circle fails. It is possible that using antibacterial products in the home fails to have the desired effect. You use antibacterial products at home and they fail to get you the desired results. So if they fail, like there is a possibility that you use antibacterial soap, shampoo, toothpaste, this and that, and it fails to get you the desired results, then it is yes. If it succeeds, it doesn't fail, then it is no, otherwise not given. Please come back to the passage. Second last paragraph, absolutely. And by the way, when you solve other questions, you realize 2 paragraphs are still untouched. So you should go there for that, okay? Second last paragraph. Okay, the most recent research, found it? The most recent research actually turns accepted norms upside down. For example, there are studies indicating that the excessive use of household detergents and antibacterial products actually destroys the microbes that normally keep the more dangerous germs at bay. Yes. Okay, false? Listen, read again. Please focus. For example, there are studies indicating that the excessive use of household detergents and antibacterial products. Now read carefully from here. Use of antibacterial products actually destroys the microbes that normally keep the more dangerous germs at bay. Means you are going to kill the microbes through your antibacterial products, and these microbes are going to save you from these germs. Let's go back. What's the question? It is possible that using antibacterial products in the home fails to have the desired effect. What is the desired effect? Listen carefully. The desired effect is if you use antibacterial product, it should kill bacteria. But what are you doing? You are killing microbes. And those microbes were supposed to kill antibacteria. That is why the answer is yes. Now, socho or nocho? It is possible that using antibacterial products in home fails. How fails? Other than killing bacteria, they are killing microbes as well, and these microbes are actually going to kill the bacteria. So you are failing to have the desired result. You want to kill bacteria, but actually you are killing microbes that kill bacteria. Okay, don't worry, you can think again. Yeah. Once I told a joke in the class and everybody laughed, but this fine friend, he didn't laugh. The next day we were coming to management house, on way I was driving, and suddenly he started laughing. I said, what happened? He said, I just understood the joke now. Okay, so that's possible, don't worry. If not now, maybe tomorrow. Maybe you are brushing your teeth, you say, ha, ha, all right? You will say, ha. So don't worry. Okay. Question number 22. It is a good idea. Please focus. It is a good idea to ensure that children come into contact, underline, children come into contact with a few bacteria as possible. With as few. Listen, please listen. Children come into as few bacteria as possible. Come into contact with as few bacteria as possible. It's a good idea. And if they say children should contact with the bacteria so that they have antibodies to fight with those bacteria. So they say it is a good idea. What is the idea? What is the idea? That children come into contact with as few bacteria as possible. If in the passage they say it's a good idea that children know a variety of bacteria so that they develop antibodies or anything like that. Now let's go back. Children is our clue word. Good. Same second last paragraph. Third last line. Other studies show that keeping a dog as a pet gives children early exposure to a diverse range of bacteria which may help protect them against allergies later. So is it a good idea or a bad idea? It is a good idea. Come back. There they say it is a good idea to ensure that children come into contact with as few bacteria. Now focus this thing. As few bacteria as possible. Come back. A diverse range of bacteria. Now are they same? As few bacteria as possible and diverse range of bacteria. They are opposite. So the answer is no. Okay? Question number 23. Zhang's book. All right, we've got Zhang. Zhang's book contains more case studies than are necessary. Look here, look here. It means Zhang's book is full of unnecessary case studies. If he says, I don't know why he put so many case studies, means more than necessary. So if the book contains more, case study is someone's experience, right? If the book contains more case studies than required, answer is yes. If book has less case studies than required, answer is no. And if they don't tell us whether the book has more case studies or less, then it is not given. Please come back. Last paragraph. The readers of Zhang's book must be prepared for a decidedly unglamorous world. Among the less appealing case studies is one about a fungus that is wiping out entire population of frogs. Now, did they mention that the case studies are less or more? Not given. And if you read on, they will say another case study, this case study, but actually this sentence, the case study, young books contain more case studies. They did not say anything that it contains more case studies. You may argue that they have given 3, there are many. Do honi chahiye thi. Not like this, okay? Unless they use the word more than required. So it is just like that. So the answer is not given. Question number 24. The case study about bacteria that prevents squid. Clue word? Squid. So the case study about bacteria that prevents squid from being attacked may have limited appeals. If the appeals are limited of the squid case study, answer is yes. If the appeal is unlimited, it's no, otherwise not given. Please come back. Yeah. Another is about squid. See that answers are coming systematically. Another is about squid that carry luminescent bacteria that protect them against predators. Okay. However, if you can overcome your distaste for some of the investigations, the reasons for Young's enthusiasm become clear. Let's come back. The case study about bacteria that prevents squid from being attacked may have limited appeal. Please come back. Let's read it again. Another is about squid that carry luminescent bacteria that protect them against predators. However, if you can overcome your distaste for some of if you can overcome your distaste for some of the investigations, the reason for Young's enthusiasm become clear. No. Listen, when he uses this word, however, right? So please come back to the question. He says, the case study about bacteria that prevents squid from being attacked may have limited appeal. For the limited appeal, he has used the word however, and then he's just described. Please come back. However, if you can overcome your distaste for some of the investigations, the reasons for Young enthusiasm become clear. So this should be yes. Because he's used the word however, and however means it has got limited appeal. If they say it's got this appeal, it can save it from predators. But when he says however means the appeal he's mentioned, that this luminescent thing saves the squid from predators, so that means it is limited. Okay, let's go on, then we can come back to it. 25. Efforts to control dengue fever. You are familiar with that? Yeah? Okay. Efforts to control dengue fever or dengue fever have been surprisingly successful. Efforts were Surprisingly successful. Now please come back. Dengue. Can you see dengue? Okay. All right. Okay, I'm just reading it from here. The microbial world is a place of wonder. Already, in an attempt to stop mosquitoes spreading dengue fever, a disease that infects 400 million people a year, mosquitoes are being loaded with a bacterium to block the disease. Okay, so what do they say? I mean, the microbial world is a place of wonder. What does it mean? Place of wonder. Surprisingly successful, and it's a place of wonder. And then, already, in an attempt to stop mosquitoes spreading dengue fever, a disease that infects. So, already in an attempt to stop mosquitoes spreading dengue fever, a disease that infects 400 million people a year, mosquitoes are being loaded with a bacterium to block the disease. So, they are doing it successfully already. This was done in Singapore, where they made a new breed of mosquitoes and they finished their dengue fever. You can do further research on that. Efforts to control dengue fever have been surprisingly successful. For surprisingly, they use the word wonder and successful. Question number 26. Microbes that reduce the risk of infection have already been put inside the walls of hospital. Look here. They said have already been put. Means, read again. Microbes that reduce the risk of infection have already been put inside the walls. Means they have put the microbes inside the walls of some hospital wards. If they have put microbes in the walls of hospital wards, it's yes. If they will do it in the future, they have not put them, then it is no. And if they don't tell us, then it is not given. Hospital is your clue word. Okay, the word hospital. Now, please follow me here. In the future, found it? Yes. In the future, our ability to manipulate microbes means we could construct buildings with useful microbes built into their walls. When? In the future. And what is in the question? Have already been put. So it is no. All right? Good. यासीन वो जो एक और रीडिंग का हैंड आउट है वो ले आइएगा. Let's go on. Reading passage number 2. The title is I Contain Multitudes. Wendy Moore review Ed Young's book about microbes. So the whole passage is about microbes. And when they say I contain multitudes, it means microbes contain multitudes. Multitudes means a lot of information these microbes contain. Now, see, this sounds like an unusual topic. Microbes. How many of you know about microbes? Just few. See, others don't know. So if there is any passage, any topic like this, you can decide to do that at the end. Remember one thing. In actual IELTS exam, out of 3 passages, one is going to be quite confusing. And most of the time, that confusing passage can be second or third. So if you find such type of passage, it's a good idea to start from third passage and then you can come back to second passage. There is no problem, right? Now what we are going to do, we are going to go on to the third passage and we'll do that first. How to make wise decisions. So we do this one first and then we'll go back to the other one. And you can do this as well. But once you start a passage, you should finish it. Not one part from here, second part from another passage, then from another passage. At the end, you'll be confused. Okay, it's not that you start one passage and you say, nahi, pichla hi sahi hai. I go back. Okay, never do like that. How to make wise decisions. Do you guys make wise decisions? No? All right. So anyways, how to make wise decisions. Please come to questions. Questions 27 to 30. The question type is multiple choice questions. In listening, we have multiple choice questions, but in listening, we have 3 options. In reading, when we get multiple choice questions, we have 4 options. Remember, whenever you deal with multiple choice questions, the first thing is you should know that the questions and answers are in order. Okay? And you should know this thing. Secondly, you just need to read the question of multiple choice question. Don't read options. If you read the question and the options, you are wasting your time and you are confusing your mind. Just read the question. From the question, you have to find clue word and then go to the passage, find the location of that clue word and take multiple choice question as an independent question and you're looking for the answer. Once you find the answer to that question, now sometimes question will be with a question mark, sometimes it is incomplete sentence. So you need to find the answer from the passage and then match that answer with one of the options. So if you read the passage carefully, if you reach the right place, read the right sentence, A, B, C, D, the right answer will click you. Let's see how to do it. Question number 27. What point does the writer make in the first paragraph? Now, whenever they say what point, it means what's the summary of the first paragraph. Okay? Please come to first paragraph. Are you there? Okay. Now, over here, for this, you need your skim reading skill. Skim reading means to read quickly so that you get to the gist of that. Let's see what point does the writer make. Across cultures, wisdom has been considered one of the most revered human qualities. Okay, understand? Although the truly wise may seem few and far between. Wisdom is important, but wise people are just few and far between. Empirical research examining wisdom suggests that, now this is important, main thing of the paragraph, research examining wisdom suggests that it isn't an exceptional trait possessed by a small handful of bearded philosophers. Now they say wisdom is not something that only a small number of people have. But do they say by a small handful of bearded philosophers after all? In fact, the latest studies suggest that most of us have the ability to make wise decisions. So wisdom is not that only few people are wise. Most of us have this ability. This is what they say. Now let's go back, please. I'm reading all the options. Option A, wisdom appears to be unique to the human race. They did not mention only human race. Okay, so listen, elimination is the best way. Now, at the end of option A or in the beginning, you can cross it. Option B, a basic assumption about wisdom may be wrong. Yes. And what is that basic assumption? That only a handful people are wise. And then he says wisdom is something that most of us can be wise. So the basic assumption, what is basic assumption? A handful people, philosophers who have beard only, they are wise. That is basic assumption. And then they say about wisdom may be wrong. Let's go on to option C. Still you have to read all 4 options. Concepts of wisdom may depend on the society we belong to. Not at all. Again, I tell you, sometimes even if you don't find the right answer, eliminate the wrong choices. Whatever you are left with will be the right answer. Option D, there is still much to be discovered about the nature of wisdom. No. So only B, basic assumption about wisdom may be wrong. And what is that basic assumption? Come back. They say wisdom has been considered one of the most revered human qualities. Basic assumption. And why it is wrong? Research examining wisdom suggests that it isn't an exceptional trait possessed by a small handful of people and anybody can be wise. Okay, let's go on. Question number 28. What does Igor Grossman, what is the clue word? Igor Grossman. What does Igor Grossman suggest about the ability to make wise decisions? Now, what are you going to find? Igor Grossman and the ability to make wise decisions. What does he suggest?
Second paragraph.
Okay, let's read it. It appears that, now whenever they use the name, focus inverted commas as well. It appears that experiential, situational and cultural factors are even more powerful in shaping wisdom than previously imagined, says Associate Professor Igor Grossman. What does he say? It appears that experiential, situational, and cultural factors are even more powerful in shaping wisdom than previously imagined. I mean, they are more powerful than people imagined in the past. Let's go back. Option A. It can vary greatly from one person to another. Not at all. Cross it. Option B. Earlier research into it was based on unreliable data. They mentioned earlier research, but they did not mention data. So, this is not the right answer. Option C. Importance of certain influences on it was underestimated. Yes, why right? Now let's go back. What are those certain influences? Come back. Those certain influences are experiential, situational, and cultural factors. And now give me the word for it was underestimated. What is the word for that? Exactly. They have used here factors even more powerful in shaping wisdom than previously imagined. So for than previously imagined, they use the word yes, underestimated. So C is the right answer. Please come to option D. Various branches of psychology define it according to their own criteria. Nah. One is no, one is not at all, one is nah. Okay? So the correct answer is C. Again, I'm telling you, eliminate wrong choices. And then you will come closer to the right answer. Question number 29, according to the third paragraph, now they have told us about the paragraph. According to the third paragraph, Grossman claims that the level of wisdom an individual shows, this is incomplete sentence. So level of wisdom an individual shows what? Let's go back. Third paragraph, Grossman claims. Found third paragraph? Okay. Now I'm going to read it from there. Let's come to second line. It is impossible to characterize. Okay, let's read from there. Everyone found it? Yes. Okay. It is impossible to characterize thought processes attributed to wisdom without considering the role of contextual factors, explained Grossman. Now please focus. In other words, wisdom is not solely an inner quality. Focus this. Wisdom is not solely an inner quality, but rather unfolds as a function of situations people happen to be in. He says wisdom is not inside quality. When we come into a situation, then we take wise decisions, right? So again, read this. In other words, wisdom is not solely an inner quality, but rather unfolds as a function of situations people happen to be in. Some situations are more likely to promote wisdom than others. Okay, now let's go back. According to third paragraph, Grossman claims that the level of wisdom an individual shows, option A, can be greater than they think it is. Not at all. Option B, will be different in different circumstances. Absolutely. For circumstances, they use the word situations. Come back, please. Everyone come back. What is the sentence? The sentence is, people happen to be. Some situations are more likely to promote wisdom than others. Some situations. And what is the word for situations? Circumstances. So will be different in different circumstances. Got it? This sentence will be different in different circumstances, and then match it with some situations are more likely to promote wisdom than others. Okay, so it is different there. 29 correct answer is B. Right? You're solving academic reading test. If you think it is difficult, yes, it is difficult. You have to take it as it is. I cannot sugarcoat it further. Let's go on. Question number 30. What is described in the fifth paragraph? When they say what is described, now you will go to fifth paragraph, skim read, and find the gist of that. What is described in the fifth paragraph? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it? Okay. Grossman and his colleagues. Now you have to read all and skim read. When you do skim reading, you're doing very fast. You're reading, okay? Like this. But don't make any noise. Don't whisper. right? You're not allowed to do that in actual exam. Let's read this last paragraph. Grossman and his colleagues have also found that one of the most reliable ways to support wisdom is our own day-to-day decisions, is to look at scenarios from a third-party perspective. You know, sometimes third-party perspective, you look at yourself as a third person and then you decide something to do. Okay, like for example, agar Asad Yaqub ke saath aisa ho, to wo kya kare? I'm Asad Yaqub, but I'm taking myself as a third person, right? So let's see. Third person perspective, as though giving advice to a friend. Take yourself as you are a friend and you are giving advice to a friend. So this is called third party perspective. Let's see. Please come back. What is described in the 5th paragraph? Option A, difficulty encountered when attempting to reason wisely. No, they didn't mention any difficulty. Option B, example of the type of person who is likely to reason wisely. No. Yes. Look at the question as well. Huh? You only say no, 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 where it is yes. Oh, yes. Example of the type of person. Now, what is type of person? Friend. And it is third party scenario. So example of the type of person who is likely to reason wisely. When you think of yourself as a third person, just see Asad is your friend and Asad has this problem. What will Asad do to solve this problem? So that is example of the type of person who is likely to reason wisely. Option C, controversial view about the benefits of reasoning wisely. Controversial view, not mentioned. Option D, recommended strategy that can help people to reason wisely. There isn't any strategy like that. So example of the type of person who is likely to reason wisely. And who is that type of person? Friend. Absolutely. For question number 30, correct answer is B. Not friend. Answer is B. Okay? Yes.
So it's kind of a strategy,
Yeah. Okay, guys. Now we have questions 31 to 35. Complete the summary using list of words. Again, book 16, test number 2, questions 31 to 35. Complete the summary using the list of words. We have two types of summary completion. Type 1, there is a summary. You have to select the word from the passage and write it there. Type 2, there is a summary. You have to find a word in the passage, then find the synonym of that word from a box of words, and then you got to write. It's double the trouble. Okay, so we've got this double the trouble, but don't worry, I'll tell you how to do it. The good news is questions and answers are in order. So that is the good news. Okay, let's see. Characteristics of wise reasoning. Now we'll find the part of the passage. Let's read some more. Igor Grossman and colleagues have established 4 characteristics which enables us to make wise decisions. Now let's just go back. Characteristics of wise reasoning. Please go back. See where you find characteristics. 4. The word 4 is important. 4 characteristics. Which paragraph? 4th paragraph. This is called scanning. Through scanning, you will reach the right part of the passage where there is the answer. Now, paragraph number 4 contains the answer, right? Just mark it. And now we come back to the question. Please come back to the question. Now we are peaceful because we know where the answer is. If you read all the question, you waste your energy to read the question. By the time you scan and read the part of the passage, you will forget the question. So first, don't read the question. Scan the question. Find the clue word. Scan the clue word in the passage. Mark it there. Then read the question. Okay, let's read. Igor Grossman and colleagues have established 4 characteristics which enable us to make wise decisions. It is important to have a certain degree of dash. Underline the word certain degree of. And there will be a synonym of certain degree of, and there whatever the word after that is, we'll just find that. Please come back. I'm reading 4th paragraph. Coming up with a definition of wisdom is challenging, but Grossman and his colleagues have identified 4 key characteristics as part of a framework of wise reasoning, right? As part of the framework. Now let's go on. One is intellectual humility or recognition of the limits of our knowledge, and another is appreciation of perspective wider than the issue at hand. right? So just read from here again. And his colleagues have identified 4 key characteristics as part of a framework of wise reasoning. One is intellectual humility. Now listen, please come back to the question. This is certain degree of dash. Let's read on. Regarding the extent of our knowledge, then and to take into account something. This is second one. So certain degree of regarding the extent of our knowledge. Please come back. One is intellectual. What is intellectual? No, intellectual means, please come back. Intellectual means regarding the extent of our knowledge. Intellectual means extent of our knowledge. What is the word they have used for that? Humility. Okay, humility means you know a lot and you're very humble. I don't know anything about IELTS. It's just a test, I think, yeah. What do we call it? Humility, right? Humility regarding the extent of our knowledge. For knowledge, they use the word intellect, right? Now, please find a word for humility. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. A word for humility. Humility and modesty. They are synonyms. So the answer is modesty? No. Answer is D. If you write modesty by mistake, that will be wrong. Do you understand? I mean, just check here. Extent of our knowledge. For extent of our knowledge, they use the word intellectual humility. So humility means modesty regarding the extent of our knowledge. Let's go on. And means another one. To take into account dash, which may not be the same as our own. To take into account something which may not be the same as our own. Please come back. I'm reading on after humility. Or recognition of the limits of our knowledge. This is done. And another is appreciation of perspectives wider than the issue at hand. Perspectives wider than the issue at hand. So, take into account perspectives. They use the word, and another is appreciation of perspectives. Appreciation of perspectives means take into account perspectives. What is the word for perspectives? Opinions. Option A. Now the answer is A. You are doing IELTS, yeah?
Why not C?
C is not that. C is view. Listen. Perspectives is a plural word. Try to understand that point. Just go back and see perspectives. That's the plural word, and for that, the word that we have, option A, opinions, that is plural. Got it? Exactly. I mean, if it could be viewpoint can be something like opinion, but it's only view. All right, let's go on. We should also be able, found it? Question number 33, I'm reading. We should also be able to take a broad dash of any situation. The word broad is important. Broad dash of any situation. Same paragraph. For broad, they use the word wider. Let's go on. Perspectives wider than the issue at hand. So wider dash of the situation. Again, they use the word perspective. Now you are right. Another word for perspective. That is view. Exactly. Wider than the issue at hand. What is wider? Perspective wider than the issue. So, the question says we should also be able to take a broad view. For perspective, wider. For wider, they have used the word broad. And for perspective, this time we are going to use view of any situation. Okay. Now, can you see we have a separate paragraph? So for question number 33, answer is C. And answer is C. Answer is not view. On your answer sheet, you will not write view. By the way, the options which you have selected already, cross them. Now we have used option D. Please cross it. We have also used option A. Cross it. And finally, we used option C. Cross it as well because you will not use it again. So if you cross the options, then you will be left with minimum words. It will save your time and it will help you find the right one. Now we have a separate summary. Grossman also believes that it is better to regard scenarios with dash, and then there is full stop. Can you see that? Grossman also believes that it is better to regard scenarios with something. Please come back. Very next paragraph. Grossman and his colleagues have also found that one of the most reliable ways to support wisdom in our own day-to-day decision is to look at scenarios. Now be careful. To look at scenarios from a third-party perspective, as though giving advice to a friend. Please come back. Third-party perspective. Okay, Grossman also believes that it is better to regard scenarios with third-person perspective. Option? All right. H is experiences. No. To regard scenarios with option F, objectivity. Objectivity means you select an object like a friend. Friend is an object. So this is objectivity. Okay? Sure, the word objectivity, I mean, they've used friend as an object. You know, subject and object. I am a subject. If I think about myself when I'm making a decision, this is subject. But if I think about myself as a third person, that is an object. So that is what we call objectivity, third person scenario. Okay, let's just, underline the points and go back, read them again, try them again, you'll find them. Question number 35. By avoiding the first person perspective, we focus more on dash. Now, when we avoid first person means I, and third person means friend's point of view, third person, okay? So he says, by avoiding the first person perspective, we focus more on. It means when we do this third person thing, we focus more on what? Come back. Same paragraph. Yes, I'm reading it from third line. Last paragraph, title page, third line. Research suggests, found it? Now please be careful. Research suggests that when adopting a first-person viewpoint, we focus on the focal features of the environment, and when we adopt a third person, now be careful, answer is here. When we adopt a third-person observer viewpoint, we reason more broadly and focus more on interpersonal and more ideals such as justice and impartiality. Find a word for justice and impartiality. Absolutely. Justice and impartiality. For that, the word is fairness. So 35G is the right answer. Yeah? Actually, now your brain has stopped functioning. Sometimes this happens. This happens with me as well. Shmaila, mera naam kya hai? Asad Yaqub. Thank you. See that? Yeah? I don't know my name, huh? So this thing happens with everybody. Don't worry. This is very simple. Do it again after some time. You'll be fine with it. Okay? Okay. All right. Let's go on. Questions 36 to 40. And now we have true, false, not given, not. Punjabi, not given. True, false, not given. Very simple. 36, true. 37, false. You know why false? Because 36 is true. And 38, not given. Because 36 and 37 are true, false. And 39, again true. Otherwise, true will be angry. Right? And 40, no, not given. Yeah. All right, you can play like that as well. Now, true, false, not given. When they appear in part 1, sentences are simple, easy to understand. When they appear in part 3, ideas are more complex. But still, methodology, things are same. Okay, so let's do. Question number 36. Students participated. Question number 36. Students participated in the job prospects experiment. Job prospects experiment. Now let's go back. Just see students and job prospects experiment. Students, job prospects experiment. Second page, second paragraph. This is called scanning. Right? Through scanning, you reach the right part of the passage which contains the answer. Okay, we have students and we have all that. So we know this second paragraph is going to have the answer. Now please come back. Now we read the question carefully. Students participating in job prospects experiment could choose one of two perspectives to take. Now listen, students could choose one of two perspectives to take. Now if they could choose one of two, answer is true. If they could choose both, answer is false. If they could choose none, or if they had no choice, again, it's going to be false. And if they don't tell us whether they could choose one or more, or they had no choice, then it is not given. So just focus, could choose one of two perspectives to take. Let's go back. I'm reading it. For example, in one experiment that took place, are you there? All right. In one experiment that took place during the peak of recent economic recession, graduating college seniors were asked to reflect on their job prospects. The students were instructed to imagine their career either as if you were a distant observer or before your own eyes. Now, one option, either. When they use either or, how many options? Two options. Either or means two options. So be careful. Either as if you were a distant observer or before your own eyes as if you were right there. So how many options? Two. Either this or that. Yeah, you need more tea. आप ना चाय की एक ड्रिप बनवा के लाया करें. यहाँ पे लगा ली. Okay, चलती रही साथ साथ. Please come back. Come on. Let's read this again. They said either as if you were a distant observer. That is option number 1. Yeah, अब आपको भी समझ आ रही है ना? Good. That's great. You've come back from there. And before your own eyes as if you were right there. So two options, you were observer or you were right there. Now please come back. Students participating in job prospect experiment could choose one of two perspectives. No, they could choose both actually. So the answer is false. Hello? Sir? Correct? Yeah? See, here they say one of two. And in the passage they say either this or that. Right? It's the same thing, like either you can marry your aunt's daughter or uncle's daughter. Right? So uncle or aunt. Are you married? No. So? Neither. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cousin marriage. I'm against cousin marriage. They give you the feeling like a sister. Okay. Cousins are more like sisters. Okay. So, all right. Okay. Question number 36. Answer is false. Exactly. जितना मुश्किल टेस्ट होगा उतनी इनकी चाय ज़्यादा बिकेगी. Okay. Have you noticed now? पूरी डिश भर के लाया है. जितना मुश्किल टेस्ट होगा उतनी चाय बिकेगी. हाँ. Let's select some more difficult tests for you. Good for us. Question number 37. Participants in the couples experiment. Couples, you know. Yeah. Now he's smiling. So those who are couples, they never smile. Those who are not couples, they smile. Yeah, exactly. Participants in the couples experiment were aware. Now listen. Participants in the couples experiment, couples were aware. Means they knew. वो जानते थे. Couples were aware, what? That they were taking part in a study about wise reasoning. Now, if couples were aware that some research is going on, answer is true. If couples didn't know that they were the subject of some research, answer is false. And if they don't tell us whether couples were aware or not, then the answer is not given. Let's go back. The clue word is couple. Now look for some couples, here or outside. Okay. So, let's see. In another study, couples in long-term romantic relationships were instructed to visualize an unresolved relationship conflict either through the eyes of an outsider or from their own perspective. Read carefully. Just what do you have to find? Whether the couples were aware that some research was going on or all that. Okay. Participants then discussed the incident with their partner for 10 minutes. after which they wrote down their thoughts about it. Couples in the other's eye condition were significantly more likely to rely on wise reasoning, recognizing other perspectives, and searching for a compromise compared to the couples in the egocentric condition. Have they mentioned anything that couples were aware or they were not aware? They didn't mention. Answer is not given. 37, not given. Question number 38. In the couples experiment, again they have couples, huh? In the couples experiment, do you want to participate in couples experiment? All right, you have to bring your own couple for that, okay? Don't assume that they will provide you a couple, yeah? All right. Okay, in the couples experiment, the length of the couple's relationship had an impact on the results. Now go back. Length of couple's relationship, same paragraph. Length had effect on their results. Length of couple's relationship, 10 years relation, 20 years relation, and all that.
Third paragraph.
It's the same paragraph. Participants then discussed the incident, right? Couples' eyes conditions were significantly more likely. Did they mention the length of relationship?
No.
Another not given. Two not givens consecutively can make you make you irritated or make you confused. That how come two are not given? There was a test I was solving. The first 3 questions were not given. Okay, this is also possible. Now it doesn't mean you write first 3 not given. Sir ne kaha tha. Not like this, okay? Sure, listen. Just focus this thing. Question number 38. The focal point is couples' relationship had an impact on the results. Length of couples' relationship. Like their relationship continued for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So the length of relationship impact on the results. They did not mention anything about the couple, length of their relationship on the results. Okay, let's do question number 39. After 2 not given, 39 should be? False. Very good. You never guess. Okay, yeah. In both experiments. Now, what are both experiments? Please come back. Yeah, students one and the couple ones. Now you have to look at 2 paragraphs. The students experiment, and what was that? From your own point of view or from a third person point of view, right? And the couples one. So, let's see. In both experiments, the participants who looked at the situation from a more detached viewpoint tended to make wiser decisions. And that's what they told us already, third person's view. So, what is that? What are they using for third person view in both experiments? The participants who looked at the situation from a more detached viewpoint. More detached viewpoint means third person's view tended to make wiser decisions. Please come back. Okay, now we got to see in both they made wiser decisions. Please come to 4th last paragraph. Participants in the group assigned to the distant observer. Distant observer means detached from the situation. Found it?
Yes.
4th last paragraph, 3rd last line. Participants in the group assigned to the distant observer role displayed more wisdom. Got it? So the first thing we found here, they displayed more wisdom. Now, by the way, answer can be false if in one experiment, detached thing showed more wisdom. In the second experiment, it showed less wisdom. Answer can be false, right? Now, let's go on to the other one. I'm reading this 3rd last paragraph from 4th line. Couples in the other's eyes condition. Other's eyes means detached ones. Third person view. Couples in the other's eyes condition were significantly more likely to rely on wise reasoning, recognizing others' perspectives, and searching for a compromise compared to the couples in the egocentric condition.
True.
Right? So the answer is true. Absolutely. See that we had to read 2 parts of the passage for one question. Now, when they say both experiments, if it is one experiment and other is not that, then it is false. Last question, Grossman. Theory, acid, tesi. You know, sometimes you see the characters and you start shouting against them and all that. Grossman believes that a person's wisdom is determined by their intelligence to only a very limited extent. Right? Wisdom has little connection with intelligence. Even if you're not intelligent, you can take wise decision, right? So let's go back. It's the last paragraph. Okay, last paragraph, third last line. That is, knowing how wisely a person behaves in a given situation is more informative for understanding their emotions. Okay, let's start it from the beginning. We might associate wisdom with intelligence. Answer is here. Okay, we might associate wisdom with intelligence or particular personality traits, but means wisdom has nothing to do with intelligence. When they say but, research shows only a small positive relationship between wise thinking and crystallized intelligence. So, what is the question? Grossman believes that a person's wisdom is determined by their intelligence to only a very little extent, at limited extent. What is the word for that? Research shows only a small positive relationship between wise thinking and crystallized intelligence. Answer is true.